Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my channel. I know I have taken a break. It was because I was uninspired. I didn't know what to do. It felt like everything I did was really intimidating, and then things were going well. Like for example, I was doing a painting right here which I can't take off right now. I don't know why. I'll try later. Well, I know why, but I'm lazy. But yeah, so I think the waterfall in that painting is phenomenal, but then I'm lost as to what to do next. So that is the problem I've been running into, and also I have school and a social life, so this is like really difficult. It's taking up my time, and yeah, it's like 10 to 8 p.m. and I finally got some time to record. I'm not done with my homework quite yet, but I mean, you need breaks too, right? So here is the drawing that I made, and this is going to be the base for, I transferred it on a sheet of really cheap watercolor paper, and actually I got it for free, but you know, that is mostly not the case. But yeah, so moving on to what's important. So what we're going to do with it, you've probably seen in the thumbnail. So yeah, I don't really need to explain that. So let's get moving. And also, this is obviously a sketch layer and then fine liner, but I used a crown pen and Indian ink for this drawing right here, because I thought that would give me some variety in the lines. So yeah, I hope you like it. Put that down in the ground somewhere. So what we're going to do is splatter, and since this I'm going to treat like a 3-color challenge. I don't have markers, not even 3, I just have 0. So what I do, but they're water based and really cheap, like €1. Like not one marker, €1. Like a pack of 12 for €1. They are the worst. They'll ruin everything ever. But like I could treat this as a 3-color challenge. But then again, I'm not gonna do anything interesting with the colors except for making splatters. So, you know, it's yeah, I don't know. So I'm gonna start doing that right now. I have not cleaned my water from the last time I was doing a project, so oh, and actually, nice, this has probably been in your screen all during the recording. So I covered the areas that I don't want to get the splatters on, like the figure itself. That'd be kind of weird. And we're gonna use, I decided we're gonna use some greens and some blues and maybe some yellow. Yeah, so we're gonna try doing it like this. Oh, actually I should remove this because it's gonna get in my paint. So I'm gonna put this right here, sort of, no space, cool. I'm gonna put it on the ground where I could reach it. Obviously the best place to put things. There we go. So rinsed off, and then I guess he could wait for this to dry, but I'm lazy and impatient, so I'm gonna move on directly to my yellow. Now this is going to get your surface that you're working on quite dirty, so I suggest you use something you're not too attached to in any way, shape or form. You should never use anything that you're attached to while painting. Now, as I said, this is the cheapest watercolor paper ever, so it's going to warp and buckle on me a lot, but in the end it'll settle down, or well, that is at least how I experience this paper. And also I'm not going to do anything too heavy, I'm just going to do the splatters. because the rest is going to be in, what's it called? Good. Soft pastels. Pastels, I don't know. Oh, this is nice and controlled. Nice. There we go. Now add some more, because I love colour. Colours are like my favourite things. Oh, they're a really weird laugh. Wow. Yeah, I'm ill, so excuse me if I sound ridiculous. So this is a different type of blue, but you know, you probably won't notice the difference. It's a bit, I don't know, is it cooler? It's darker at least. I don't know if it's cooler though. Really don't. I think it is warmer actually. And then I want to add some of this sort of yellow, sort of orange colour. I think that would really make a difference. Okay, well good. So, you can add as many colours as you want to this. I know it's not looking like anything right now. I regret it not looking like anything right now. But, I'm sure there'll be something when it's done. Actually, let me add one more green, because I feel like it needs it. Ah, that's the splash of colour I was looking for. I want some intenser colours on here, so I'm gonna get some more pigment on it. And, get some more green. Some more. Oh yes, those are nice. That is very nice. So yeah, I don't know, it was kind of, this picture kind of reflects my mood sometimes. I have these moments in which I feel like I'm fighting every minute of my life. And I have these moments as well with intense joy, and they somehow appear randomly, which is interesting to say the least. But you know, I mean, I know I just need some, at those moments, like, I need someone or somebody, something on my, like, I really don't care, as long as something tells me, hey, it's okay, or something like that. It's, like, I need some nuance to, balance out the, what kind of despair that I feel at that point. So yeah, I like the amount of colour that's on here right now. This doesn't need to be cleaned because it's not very used or gotten dirty. Now after this, I recommend you clean your surface, for which I use the same thing that's on here, just some paper towels. You can use anything you want, really. So yeah, I'm going to set that aside and let it dry, and I'm going to see you soon. Bye. Okay, so, hey, welcome back. You have not noticed that I was gone, but approximately a day has passed, because this needed to dry, and actually now that I'm looking at it, it's still not, well, it's dry, but it's shiny. How did it get so shiny? Oh well, whatever. So I decided that for this thing with all the grey tones, we'll be using soft pastels instead of watercolours because, well, I had an explanation for this. Let me first do this because I really do not like. Damn it. Yeah. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a piece of tape that's stuck on my white pastel, which we are going to be needing if it turns out that that I put too much black on it, or grey. So I use a scissor for this because I don't want to get my fingernails all dirty, which is difficult sometimes when doing this. There we go. For those two colours, and maybe we'll need the white, but I'm not sure. So yeah, one thing that you do have to be careful with is that sometimes you need to be very precise, and what I suggest you do is maybe even take a brush if you want to do this very slowly and very precisely. You could also use some sort of stick and put some pigment on there and then rub it in the hair with that. But for the bigger areas, your hands will do just fine, and you could do this in two ways. You could put the pigment on the paper and then use your fingers to spread it, or put the pigment on your fingers and then use your fingers to put it on the paper. So for the bigger surfaces, I'll be just putting it on there and then working it like, well, with my fingers. Here, speaking is for some reason always difficult. Now black is a very pigmented color in soft pastels, which annoys me sometimes. So watch out that you don't use too much of this. I mean, you could technically try to use the white to light things up a bit. But in general, just do not use too much black. And I'm just kind of making it fade into the white background right there. Which I don't like the line there, is it? You can change that off a bit. Well, it's good enough, I guess. We have to remember that we need the same tonal value for this because it's the same color, it's one dress, right? So, but for now, let's put some more pigment right here in the shadowy parts of the dress. Hello? Are you really gonna interrupt my recording?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm gonna just remove some of the pigment because just doing this. There we go. In the end, you could still go over this with some fine liner or some ink to make the line pop a bit more because it kind of disappeared under the pigment of the black which I warned you for, but then didn't stick to myself. Well, I'm actually gonna have to use some water to clean my fingers with. So I'm gonna go get some water and be right back. Right, okay, so I got some water, and I'll put this aside really quickly. The water, and I cleaned my hands for as far as I could, which is, well, that didn't go too well. Let's just hope it does not affect my further drawing. So what I suggest you do, which I didn't, because I'm stupid, is start with the lightest colour and then move on to the darker. So, I'm gonna go off on a limb here and say that your skin colour is the lightest colour in this drawing. So do not put too much pigment on there, and just use grey instead of black. Although if you do not have grey because you have an even more limited colour palette of soft pastels than I do, then, well, first of all you should upgrade, because that is a very limited colour palette. I only have 24 colours, and I'm sorry, but I'm really quite ill, so I'm sorry if that bothers you. It shouldn't, because it's not your disease, but whatever. Maybe you're ill too, then, and it's technically your disease as well. Okay, so let's just do something like that, and obviously the gun is gonna create some sort of shade on the fingers, and this right here, all the other fingers are gonna create some sort of shade on the fingers, and you just want to kind of blend that in. Don't make it too harsh, although I love contrast in shade and stuff like that, but you know, sometimes it's good to know your limits. There we go. For the face I am gonna use some more detail than just my hand, because that's quite difficult. Now I'm using really bad pastels, so you could just wipe them away if you wipe hard enough. Which, you know, it's handy in some cases. It actually is quite handy. Right, so I think I might have overdone it right here. Okay, so after that, let me just sort of try to clean my fingers, which does sort of work, I guess. Good lord, that thing's filthy. Okay, well, okay, there we go. I should sort of use a mid-tone for this, so I'm going to use this and that, which actually means that I'm going to use this, and then put it on a bit more thickly, you know. and my bag plunges to the ground. Awful being ill. It's part of the reason I have not been recording lately, and exams. If you count those two together, and the social life and rest of schoolwork and stuff, you know, I got a pretty detailed list of why I'm not doing anything at the moment for YouTube. Which is one of the times I'm happy I don't have any subscribers, or not that many. It means no one's gonna fucking complain when I'm gone. I'm just gonna look like a fucking ghost. Oh my god. Okay, well, there we go. And okay, well, I should get something to do more precise work. So yeah, I'm gonna go try and do that. Let's see. Would it work with a watercolour brush or something? Absolutely not. Palette knife. No, that doesn't work either. This weird thing. No, okay. No detailed work for me. I don't know why not. My tools decide not to work, which is good. And by good, I mean absolutely atrocious. There we go, and now the next thing will be, I don't want to do the face and fuck it all up, so I might just go AFK for a bit and search for a tool that does work for putting this colour on the face. I think I might have a solution for that. I kind of figured her hair being light, but then should it be lighter than the face? I'll just make it sort of the colour of the gun. I think that's a good thing to do. Now in anime, there's mostly sort of this highlight thing on the hair as well. which I am going to be doing. But the nice thing about soft pastels is that you could use a regular eraser to erase them. Or, you know, if you really want to erase them, then use a gummy eraser. That works too. Okay, good. So yeah, I'm gonna look for something that I could do the details with, which might take a while, but I'll make it happen. Don't worry. So yeah, BRB. Okay. So I have found a way. So what I did, I used some sort of wooden thingy that came with a canvas, and I just scraped some of this off into this. That is how I coloured these. And then I figured, well, but these look a lot smoother than the dress and everything. So I coloured it with this, which is, I used this thing for, what's its face? You know the covering stuff for watercolours? The one that makes sure that there's nothing under there, so it remains white in there. I don't know what the fuck it's called anymore. I forgot it, but basically I used this brush for that, and it sort of became hard, but it's still flexible. So that is a perfect tool to use. So let's say you don't have the luxury of having beaten up a brush so much that it's now like in this state, then you could make one by using any type of sticky liquid, and please don't make dirty comments, and put it on the fucking brush, let it dry, and you're done. You have officially ruined a brush. You're not going to use it for anything else anymore, but yeah, this is something you could use it for. Now watch it. As you're doing this, your colours are going to lighten up on you, because, well, sort of. I mean, you're pushing the pigment aside, but then again, you could press it down again with the same tool. So it does not have to, it's just easier. There we go. My hand's probably in the screen, I don't know. Oh, it's actually docking up the hand. That might be because I didn't clean the brush before I went on to this lighter colour. Might be a reason. Don't know. We'll never know, probably. Yeah, I love the way that that's turning out, so I'm going to use it on all of my, all of the space I coloured in. So yeah. see how some of the colour is letting go again. That is what happens. It's loose, which is not a problem because that is what we want to achieve in the end. This colour. Now it's nice because with this brush I can actually do some detail. For the hair, for example, just take some of that powder and you go like this. Now I might have to darken up the hair, we'll see. Still need some over here. So yeah, we only have the face left to do, which should not be that big of a challenge in theory. It is, however, the hardest part of the drawing, so if you're intimidated, then I suggest maybe you leave the skin white. That could work. It won't affect your drawing that much. What I was planning on doing is actually, I don't know, using a eye colour. Would kind of be nice, I guess. I'm really not that sure. Just make sure you leave the eyes white. It seems like a good thing to do. And obviously you're gonna want to put more pigment on the places where you want some shade to be happening. And also I forgot this strand of hair right here, which runs right through an eye. Nice. Okay, so I'm gonna use some more pigment right here, for example. That's one of the places where a lot of shade is going to occur, and actually we might be using black as well. So yeah, this is supposed to be a very emotional picture. I like to do that to see how much art can influence someone, and in what amount you could express yourself in art, because they say it's a really expressive form of emotion, like you could really express your emotions in it, and I want to test that. There we go. That's good. I actually really like that. So what I'm going to be doing is actually adding some black to the hair. Seems like a good idea. I could just use the thing like this. This way I'll get some black on it. No, you know what, I'll just use this, that's easier. Basically all you do is this, I don't know if you can see it, I'll move it right here. So like this, powder will come off do it this way around, it doesn't really matter. What you do is tab it a few times, you're all set. Now you have enough black powder. You just put your brush in there, and you gently spread it across your drawing. When something has a clear direction, like hair, you might want to keep that direction in mind while doing this. It's just like painting. Okay. Hair falls, so you should kind of keep that in mind, I assume. Here we go. So I've never done something like this before. I've never done anything like this before, or like anything before that I put on my channel, because everything I put on my channel I try for the first time. Because one, you'll feel less intimidated to try it for the first time as well. It is very important that you do not feel like you can't do it, because you can, because everyone can. I know that because I can, and I'm doing it for the first time, so you can do it, even if it's for the first time. Now, first times do not always work out like this, you know, that's just the reality of life. Some people have more talent than others, but that does not mean that one can't do it and the other one can. That is certainly not what it means. It just means that it takes one a little bit more effort than the other. Yeah, so towards the roots of the hair is always a bit darker, or mostly, I don't know. Mine is actually lighter towards the roots, which is weird. But yeah, so I'm going to be doing that. Makes it seem a little bit more realistic. And yeah, just kind of have fun with this, okay? You don't need the color composition, or the grey composition in this case, the light scale, to be like this. You can do this in any color. If you make the hair too dark, then, well, guess what? Your person has really dark hair. That does not matter. You might have had a different image of the person you were going to draw in your head in the first place. But, you know, maybe she looks better with darker hair. You don't know. You know when you know is when you try. Then you'll know for sure. So yeah. I really like how this turns out. That's very good. There we go. I have a feeling I was going to add something. Oh yeah, that's it. That's it. I was going to get an eraser. Here we go. I'm back. But you know, I didn't even take my time and cut it out. I just went for it. Isn't there a dirty eraser over here so I don't have to use one of my good erasers? Because you know, the truth about this is you don't want to ruin all your art supplies on one of these. But you know what? This is about eraser as well, look at it. But it'll work for this. So let's do something over here, for example. And if you don't like it, you think it's too wide or something, you could always fill it back in. Which I'm going to do right now because that is awful. Absolutely atrocious. Making it somewhat thinner. Like that. Because I do really want that to be in there. It's a bit less, less in your face. So just pick up some colour, tab it off right there, put it on there, see no harm done whatsoever. And I think that you have created a wonderful piece of art. I don't know how yours turned out, but I'm pretty sure you did well. So, because, you know, it wasn't that difficult. And if you followed my instructions, you'd be able to do this. Now, if you felt like taking artistic liberty, then you'd still be able to do this. If you threw random colours at this paper, you'd at least have the background. Your figure itself would turn out somewhat less spectacular. But yeah. So I'm going to be putting my name right here. Or well, my signature, but that's also my name. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed. I'll hold it up to the camera so you can fully see it. And I'll see you later. Bye.